Funny thing is, we're not in insurance sales. Who wants to talk about life insurance? By the way, if I was a life insurance salesman, I'd never want to hand out my business card. But everyone in the whole world wants to talk about real estate, so why not tell them you're a realtor?
Yeah, I agree.
It just opens up the conversation. Next thing you know, you're getting business.
I agree with that. Number 6, put marketing in place and be consistent. What does that mean?
It means like my friend over here, Dan, I'm sure he's consistent whatever he does as far as advertising. And my marketing, I don't put it in one month and I'm out the next month because there has to be repetition and consistency in order to be successful. It's not always going to happen immediately, but by people seeing your name and your brand and being aware of it, eventually when they're ready, they'll call. You have to be consistent.
Number 7, you said know where your leads are coming from.
Ask people, how did you find out about me? And then focus on where you're getting your business as to where to direct your advertising dollars.
So always know where you got business from.
Absolutely. And we track everyone.
Number 8, follow up constantly.
Follow up, the 2 most important words in real estate, follow up. Every day I have my time where I sit down and no one can bother me because I'm prospecting. And if Gary said, call me next year, okay, 2011, 2012, whenever you told me to call, I'd make a note down. And I'd call and say, Gary, I just wanted to call you. You said you might be interested in selling your house in a couple months, and I just wanted to follow up and see if you're ready yet. And I keep just a little tickler file.
You bet.
And I make those calls every day. This week I goofed off. I didn't do it because I'm here. But if I don't make those calls every day, I don't feel good. So I have to follow up religiously, and that's the critical thing to being successful. People appreciate that.
I agree. Think outside the box, number 9. What do you mean by that?
It means in our marketplace, the environment's changing, and we have to think of new ways constantly. A lot of the people I've seen here today are thinking outside the box. They're coming up with new ways, innovative ways, creative ways to get business because the old ways aren't working. There are plenty of realtors at my office that are having to reinvent themselves because their old ways aren't working anymore. And if everyone's going after the same business, then there's not that much pie left. But if you think outside the box about a way to get business and cater to a need that there might be out there, you're going to get a lot more business.
Dan, is that what you do like in your mastermind? Is that one of the reasons you do those sorts of things? Is
Yeah.
you're looking for ways to automatically jar you into thinking outside of that box?
We set aside time regularly just for that sole purpose, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I think it's critical. Number 10, know your competition. That's why he has a mastermind. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Know your competition. What do you mean?
I mean, I study my competition constantly. I see what they're doing, and I try to do it better. I like to know what they're doing as far as marketing. I like to know where they're marketing to, what they're going after, what their sales volume is. I want to know their strengths and their weaknesses because then I can design myself around that.
Number 11, be a listing agent. It will drive business to you. What does that mean?
It means if you control the listings, you control the market.
Okay. So you consider yourself a listing agent over a buyer's agent?
Absolutely. I have a team of buyer's agents, which my brother runs, and he's involved in helping, running my business. But overall, my team is driven by the listings that we have. We have just over 100 now, and I think that he or she who controls the listings controls the market because they're going to naturally get the buyers. They're going to naturally get the sellers' deals. Control of the listings is control of the marketplace.
Do you have a minimum number that you're after? Other than all of them?
No, as many as I can get.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. So You're a machine, buddy. That's all I can say. All right. Number 12. There is no limit to what you can achieve if you are persistent and determined. You are Mr. Persistent and Determined, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Obnoxiously so.
Absolutely. I'm proud of it.
Scarily and eerily so.
I mean it. Can I tell you the story?
I mean that with total respect, but my sense of it, even when we talked before, and even meeting you back when we wrote Millionaire Real Estate Agent and interviewed you for that, I would say that persistent and determined probably defines you more than any other 2 words.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have to tell you that when I first read it's by Calvin Coolidge. He said that persistence and determination alone are omnipotent, meaning almighty, capable of anything. And the sky is the limit. We can do whatever we want in life. We can achieve whatever we want in life. The only thing holding us back might be ourselves. There is no limit to what we can achieve in life. And I tell my kids this all the time. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve as long as you're persistent and determined. And if you read the rest of it, there are plenty of people that are educated derelicts. Unrewarded genius is a proverb, but persistence and determination alone are almighty capable of anything. That's all you have to be.
I agree. In my conversations, absolutely. In my conversations with Dan, that's who Dan is. That's who you are too, Dan. In the end, that was my overriding perception of both of you men, was that tying you down to specifics was really difficult. And I think it's because it was extremely difficult. And the reason is because I think you operate with such a huge view and a determined persistence to do whatever it takes. And you've gotten your business to a point now where it's actually a little difficult to tie you down to anything specific, because you get that's automatic. It's already being done. It's not even what you're thinking about. In other words, if I asked you how your day went, you wouldn't tell me about that you put clothes on and tied your shoes, because you have to do it. Everyone does that. You do it. You have a system for doing it, and you're never going to not do it, so you're not going to talk about it. So what happens is you become, the discussion with you guys tends to be what's happening now and your philosophy about the business, because what's different about you two, which is why you live at such a massive level, is you've already given yourself over to the basics. You've already given your life and your business and the people around you the instructions that we're going to do the things that work. Now, having said that, now, here's what we're working on now. But we're not going to stop doing that. So I just found it fascinating. It was very instructive. It was enlightening. I got off the phone with both of you and I went, boy, they didn't say one specific thing. And then it hit me. What hit me was, it's because you already do it. It's just done. Why talk about it, Gary? It's not going to not get done. If you go into my business, you're going to see it automatically. This is what we do. We're not going to debate it. That's why I'm Dan, and that's why I'm Joe. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's fascinating that because I talk to a lot of people. And when you get to the level that you gentlemen play at in the game and the business of providing professional real estate services to people, you've already given yourself over to the basics. You've already given yourself over to doing the things that work, and you're not going to stop doing those. So when you talk, it's about the stuff on top of it and around it, because that's what interests you, and that's also where your head is at in relation to doing more. But it's not actually what's underneath all that. It's interesting. Yeah. Number 13, you said honesty and integrity above all else.
Don't compromise yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Do you feel like I think we're done for the day. Do you feel like you're pulled to be dishonest and all that?
There are dirty realtors out there, I have to tell you. And, no harm intended, but people will ask me to do dishonest things, and I say, absolutely not.
Yeah,
okay? Or people will say, don't take me into an area, if they want to speak racially or dishonestly or anything, I said, no, thank you. Okay?
I agree.
Because I believe honesty and integrity above all else, and I'm a little bit direct, but people will appreciate your honesty. People appreciate your integrity, and I hold that above all else.
Yeah, I agree totally. I agree. I really do. When we started, when I first with my top agents, we began talking about this thing called profit sharing in our organization. I actually took the plan and went down to the Texas Real Estate Commission and the Attorney General. And the reason I did it was because I never wanted to be accused of being a pyramid or being illegal or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that if we were going to build something, that it had honesty and integrity behind it. I agree, and I think you just have to go above and beyond whatever you have to do to make sure that you live by that. So I agree.
I think we owe it to our industry.
You just owe it to the universe, actually. Number 14, figure out how to replace yourself. Well, what does that mean?
Means that I've built a lot of different companies that I'm involved in, and you can't ever get away. It's like I heard Chris talking about and Dan talking about, we want to try to get to the 7th level that you're trying to teach us to get to. And the only way we can do that is by consistently replacing ourselves. I started out as a one-man show, and then I hired a receptionist, and I, just kept backing out. And I've had several companies I've backed out of almost completely.
Yeah.
And my team is one of the last things that I'm trying to back out of right now, so that I can replace myself and come to work, like he said, if I feel like it. And the same thing with my Keller Williams organization.
Well, you get to come in the form of leadership instead of doership.
Correct.
When you get to that higher level, it's not that you don't show up. I'm there. I'm working. It's not that I'm not. But I'm into the leadership side, and I get to pick and choose and apply my energy and strengths and talents to the things that get me most excited instead of having to do everything or something specific. Yeah. And remember, the points for both of you were for mega success. This wasn't for minimal success. This wasn't for a little success. My question to both of you was, what do you do at the highest level? And yeah, at the highest level, you replace yourself.
Right. And you can't make rain if you're sitting there doing minimal stuff. You have
That's
to keep
it. What did I not ask these fine gentlemen that I should have asked them?
How do you maintain that big thinking all the time?
I think it just becomes second nature.
Is he on? He's on.
I think it just becomes second nature. It's just maybe who we are, and I'd say it's probably a large part of everybody in here. We all aspire to do what we're doing. It's just that we've maybe done it a little longer and a little smarter. I don't know. It's all good, but
well, you can do it dumber if you persevere.
Yeah.
No, you can. I mean, to claim that maybe you were smarter, it could be true, but it doesn't have to be true. You could be the dumbest bunny on the planet, and if you didn't give up, you'd beat 99% of the people in this room.
Sure you would.
You just would.
I think one thing you said, Gary, too, hit really home. You're not involved in the basics, therefore you're not involved in the little stuff. The little stuff is being handled, so you only think big. I think I answered my own question. You only think big, so you want to think bigger. You're already coming. They're coming from here to go to here, not here to get up there. So
I want you to imagine Gary Keller 20 years ago being on the stage. Well, actually, it was 20. Yeah, I guess it was maybe 20 years ago. I'm on the stage with Dave Liniger, right? And at that time, he's conquering the world, and I'm nobody, okay? And I want you to just imagine that all of us, we're that individual, right? We're sitting there, and we're staring up at the mountain, and we're going, my gosh, I've done nothing, and that person has done everything. And what I want you to understand is what you've shared today is how you go from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. You persevere. You stay determined. You stay open. You take one idea back and you go implement it with certainty, and you stay on it until you get results from it. And then when you get the results, you keep hammering that while you go and grab something else and add to it. And you don't stop. And you look up 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later, and you have this massive business, this huge business that's actually intimidating for a lot of people. They look at that and they go, my gosh, 770 units. I was just trying to do 30. You know? Or they go, good Lord, 130 million or maybe 150 million in closed volume. I was just trying to do 10, or I was trying to do 20, or I was trying to do 30. I couldn't think. I mean, did you think 140 or 150 20 years ago? Did that number cross your mind?
No, but yes.
Exactly. Now how about you? Same thing, right? No, but yes? Yes. Same answer for me. No, but yes. No, but yes. You know, I imagined it could be big. I didn't have anything specific in mind other than tackle big ideas and never let them go. And big happens by default over time. It just happens. And it doesn't take a genius to make it, does it? Nope. You look like a genius afterwards, right? Yeah. And you kind of go, well, aw, shucks, you know. And you realize you did a lot of smart things, but in the end, the smart thing that you did was you never gave up. So don't ever give up. All right? And we're done. Thanks, fellas. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Tony.